Is Nostr a new type of blockchain? Well, if you're hanging around Nostr asking that question, you're probably going to get a bunch of groans because the people who are building Nostr do not think of it as a blockchain at all. And in fact, it doesn't have any of the properties or technologies that a blockchain has. First, it's good to understand what a blockchain is, and then you can better understand why Nostr is not a blockchain. A blockchain was invented as part of the invention of Bitcoin, and the sole purpose is to manage a digital ledger that doesn't require a trusted third party. That enables us to have a new type of money that cannot be double spent. The big problem with money when you don't trust a third party is it's hard to know if I'm sending you some, if I'm sending somebody else the same money. Well, we need to know that I'm only able to send it to one, either you or the other person. And so that requires double spending to be solved. And the Bitcoin protocol and blockchain are an invention that helps us solve that. It's actually solved now. But the problem is blockchain became a popular concept for anybody who notices a trust problem in the world to just try to claim that they're going to solve that trust problem by introducing a blockchain. What it really does is it makes a lot of confusion and uncertainty. And if people don't really understand how the technology works, they might be confused or tricked into believing that a new type of blockchain is solving a new type of trust problem. Now, I'm open to hearing about new trust problems being solved. There's probably lots of different ways to do that. But the blockchain that was invented as part of the invention of Bitcoin is specifically designed for managing a digital ledger and ensuring that double spending cannot happen. And that's really the only thing that it's good at. It's not good at solving all of the world's trust issues. So why does Nostr sometimes get confused for being related to blockchains? Well, Nostr has a separate mechanism for solving some trust problems. There's a trust problem in the world that if you work with a centralized provider for publishing a message on the internet, you're subject to a bunch of different types of control points. So maybe something like who controls the routing of the internet packets to the website. It could be that the person who operates the website doesn't like you anymore or doesn't like what you're saying, and so they could choose to censor you or take your information down. Or they control the database where your information is stored. So any information you publish flows through them, and then they have a lot of control over whether you're allowed to publish that and how that information can and should be monetized. They also limit the ability for more people to explore different product hypotheses and ideas that could be applied to that data that you create. So those are some of the problems that people think about in social media or generally internet publishing. And so there's been this popular idea that we want to create a lower barrier of trust requirement in social media and publishing. And so because Bitcoin invented this beautiful system called a blockchain that ensures a limitation of double spending, people have tried to take that blockchain concept and just apply it to everywhere there's a trust problem, and this internet publishing is an example where there's these trust problems. But instead, because double spending is not the problem in social media, blockchain in general is not a good solution to solving it. So Nostr took a very different approach. It said, what is the problem? Well, the problem is you want to be able to publish some information out, and you don't want to be dependent on kind of a website or a trusted third party to hold your information in their database or decide how to render your information through their products. Nostr opens up a totally new architecture which involves these relays. Relays allow lots of different third parties to run them, but you're not dependent on any given trusted third party. And you could choose to run it yourself. You could choose to run it through a friend's relay, or you could choose to use a free relay or a commercial relay. So you have lots of options. And any given message you publish, you could publish to many of those relays. So you're not solving the double spend problem. You're actually solving or limit the ability for other people to suppress your message from getting out there. A side effect of that is you end up with a lot of control over the content that you publish. It can be accessed through lots of different products and clients. It can have lots of innovation and features and open source software that gets built around it. And so you actually have a whole new greenfield space to explore, but it's not about a blockchain. It's about new innovation in the way that information gets pulled off relays and used. So there's no new money being invented. There's no global state being monitored. There's just a new mechanism for publishing, which unlocks a lot of greenfield design space. So the reason I'm excited about it is because it allows a lot of that creativity to flourish. New products can be built, and people can't stop those new products from being built. So it just allows a lot more innovation and human creativity to be expressed online. For me, that's always exciting. But for you, I'd like to hear, why are you excited about Nostr? Why are you curious to learn more about it? Hit me in the comments and let me know your next questions about Nostr, and we'll get you some answers.